Hello everyone and welcome back to Mini Chefs. It's our second Mini Chefs of 2021 and today we're going to be making something very delicious. What are we making, Rosa?
Chocolate and sweet potato brownies.
Yeah, so they're very healthy chocolate brownies made with sweet potato. So we've got our ingredients. Here we've got 130 grams of ground oats. Do you want to stick those in the bowl? And then we've got sweet potato. So before I cooked this sweet potato, it weighed 700 grams. It now seems to weigh less than that. It weighs 550 grams. So I've mashed it up. So you can either mash it or you can puree it in a food processor or blender, so it's really smooth. Then we've also got 3 tablespoons of
Cocoa powder.
So this is actually pure cacao powder, which means it hasn't been processed very much, and it's really, really healthy and has a really strong chocolatey taste. But you can use any cocoa powder you've got. And then I've also got some date puree here.
Date.
So this was made with medjool dates, which are really, really sticky, and I've blended them to a puree in my food processor. If you have got a different kind of dates, they might feel a bit dry, so it's a good idea to soak them in hot water. So this one's for the adults. Soak them in hot water for 20 minutes and then drain them before you blend them. If you don't have a blender, you can do it in a pestle and mortar. Just chop them up really small and then kind of mash them together with the pestle and mortar as best you can. So I remembered that when we did our very first Mini Chefs, we made some pumpkin muffins using date puree to sweeten them. And the children found the date puree really hard to stir because it was quite thick. So I'm just going to show you a little trick to make it easier for the children. I'm just going to get a fork. So in the jug here, I've just put a tiny bit of boiling hot water. So this again, it's one for the adults to do. So boil your kettle and you just need a teeny tiny bit of hot water. I'm just going to add it there. So it's I've probably put in less than a teaspoon. And I'm just going to stir it up with the fork a little bit just to make it a bit softer and easier to work in. Otherwise, if you do have a food processor or a good blender, then you can actually make this whole recipe in the food processor. So you can cook your sweet potatoes, let them cool down, and then put them in the food processor and blend them to a puree, and then add some chopped dates, your cocoa powder and your oats, and just make the whole thing in the food processor. But today we're going to do it by hand because actually that's more fun for you, isn't it, Rosa, to mix everything by hand.
So they go in the oven?
They do go in the oven, these ones. So sometimes we make things out of dates, don't we, like energy balls, which I think is what Rosa's thinking of, where you...
And also fridge bars.
Yeah, fridge bars as well, where you can make something really tasty and sweet and healthy without actually cooking it. Okay, so can you see that's stirring really nicely now? I've added a few spoonfuls of water, made that into a paste. Okay, Rosa, do you want to add your cocoa powder to the oats?
Yeah, it went splat.
It did go splat, didn't it? Do you want to give that a stir?
Smells
so
nice,
that's
though.
Ground oats and cocoa powder all mixed up together.
It smells nice though.
Does it smell chocolatey?
But quite strong.
Okay, Rosa, can you see you've got some lumps of cocoa powder there? Do you think you could put your fingers in and just break those lumps up with your fingertips? Let's just show everyone the bowl so it's all mixed together. Can you do it with your fingers, do you think? Because I think those lumps of cocoa powder probably won't taste very nice if they don't get mixed in. That would just be really strong and powdery and not very tasty. Okay, right, next we're going to put in the mashed sweet potato or sweet potato puree. You got them all out, Rosa?
I think
Your hands are mucky now, aren't they?
Okay.
Shall we pause the video so you can wash your hands?
Yeah.
Okay, so Rosa's back now with very clean hands. So we're going to add the sweet potato. So I've got a spatula here. I'm just going to scrape it in with that. You can do this bit, it's fine.
It's quite hard.
It's not hard, you can definitely do it, Rosa. That's it. So hold on to the bowl. Remember what we always say, if you hold on to the bowl with your other hand, then it won't fly about everywhere. Rosa is right-handed, so she's holding the bowl with her left hand and using the muscles in her right arm to stir. So Rosa, should we just hold it up for a sec so everyone can see? So it's starting to mix together nicely.
Can you have a go?
Yeah, should we put in the dates as well? So the date paste is going in.
Is that all the ingredients?
That's all the ingredients. Isn't that amazing?
You give that one and then you have a go.
Okay, so while Rose is doing that, I've just remembered I should have said that the oven is preheated again to 180 degrees. And I've got a square cake tin here and I've put some baking paper in it. So if you put the baking paper a bit longer on the sides, then it will make it easier to get out when it's cooked at the end.
Mama, you have a go.
But if you don't have a square baking tin, you can use something that's a similar size. This is an 8-inch square cake tin. Okay, so I'm going to have a go. Some dates on the side, and I can feel, Rosa, that there's lots of dry oats and chocolate at the bottom that we need to get all mixed in. So Rosa's done a brilliant job, but I'm just going to make sure we don't lose those bits at the bottom. Nice. Does it smell nice? Is it making you hungry? Mm-hmm. Do you think you're going to eat some of this later? Mm-hmm. Do you like sweet potato, Rosa?
Don't really know.
You like sweet potato wedges, don't you?
Yeah, they're okay.
And sometimes we make a very tasty stew, sweet potato and peanut stew. So it's really easy, isn't it? That's a good one.
Don't really like the peanuts that much.
No, Rosa's very strange. She likes peanut butter, but she gets a bit funny about peanuts. So I don't really understand that. You don't like satay sauce, which is made of peanuts.
That's it.
Okay.
You like everything else.
Yeah, you like everything else, don't you? Okay, so that's really well mixed in now. And we're going to pop it in the cake tin. Do you want to do that, Rosa?
You might need to hold the bowl for me because it's usually quite heavy.
I'll hold the bowl. Okay, so I'm holding the bowl. Rosa's going to scrape that in. Sorry, I'm just trying to tilt it, Rosa, so everyone can see. Let's just hold it to the side of it so you can manage. But get your spatula to the top and get the top bit out first. Then it will all start to fall in. Lovely. So sweet potato is such a great ingredient. It's like pumpkin, which we used in some of our recipes last year. It's really good for holding everything together if you're not using eggs and things.
You can't taste it at all.
Can't taste it. It's a little bit sweet and it's full of nutrients. It's really, really good for you.
And with the chocolate and the cocoa powders, you can't taste the sweet potato because you can just taste the chocolate.
And we've added dates, which are quite sweet, but they're full of lots of natural sugar, but we haven't added any other sugar, have we?
No.
Or any butter, or any kind of fats.
This is going to be yummy.
It's going to be good. Right, sorry, Rosa, I'm taking over again, aren't I? Do you want to spread that nice and smooth on the top? So if you don't have a spatula, what you could do is get another piece of baking paper, put it on the top. That's it, and press down with your hands because you want to make sure that you get bits of the mixture in all the corners and it's as smooth as you can get it on the top. It also helps to push it down, that will help it to stick together while it's cooking.
It's a bit wonky.
It's a bit wonky, isn't it? But that's alright, it's going to be tasty. Really, it doesn't matter, it's only us that's going to be eating it, isn't it?
And brothers.
And your brothers and your dad, yeah. Okay, so we're going to put this in the oven now. And it's going to take about 30 to 40 minutes. So what we'll do is we'll check it after 30 minutes and we'll see whether it looks like it's setting on the top, and I'll get a sharp knife and stick it in the middle and see if the knife comes out clean. And then we'll see if it's done or not, if it needs to go in for a bit longer. Okay, see you in a minute. Hello, so we're back with our cooked sweet potato brownies. These ended up taking about 40-45 minutes in the end, so a bit longer than I was thinking. If you've made them in a bigger dish, then they'll be thinner and they probably won't take quite so long to cook. So what I did was I took them out of the oven and then I cut them into squares while they were still in the tin, and then I left them in the tin for about 15 minutes to set. And then I'm just going to go over them again, and Rosa's going to try one.
Might be a bit hot though.
And you see the steam, that's still quite hot, isn't it? So definitely leave these to cool down. I'm just going to cut a little bit off for Rosa. So if when you cut into it, it's very, very sticky, then it might need a bit longer in the oven. Right, Rosa, so hang on to that for a minute. Give that a good blow, that's going to be really hot inside. So because they've got lots of vegetables and dates and things in, they are a bit wetter than a classic chocolate brownie. Well, look at Rosa's face.
Hot.
Is it hot? Is it tasty and hot or just hot?
Tasty and hot.
Tasty and hot. Oh, don't burn your mouth, will you?
I bet it's not too hot. It's more hot on my fingers and not in my mouth.
Alright, so leave them to cool down completely, and then once they're cool you can put them in an airtight container and keep them for a few days if they last that long. You can also freeze them. So if you want to freeze them freeze them flat on a tray for an hour and then transfer them to a box or a bag, or if you don't want to do that, wait till they've cooled and then tear off a bit of paper, a bit of baking paper, and put it between each one and stack them up, and that would just stop them from sticking together in the freezer, and then you can take them out as and when you want to use them. Okay, we really hope you enjoy your sweet potato brownies, and we will see you next time. Bye!